The FBI says you may not own your home. That's what Home Title Lock claims in their online marketing as well as their very extensive campaign on satellite radio and on other radio stations, telling you why you need to purchase Home Title Lock insurance as a monthly subscription. Hi, I'm Darren Findling from QuietTitle.com. I'm a lawyer that all we do within this particular space is address and resolve title disputes. Some of these are procedural in nature, and many of them are litigation involving title litigation and disputes. And we're going to spend some time discussing this particular product called Home Title Lock that is really pushing for subscription-based, and we're going to discuss whether it is a worthwhile investment to be buying for yourself as a homeowner. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about what Home Title Lock is not. It is not title insurance. When you purchase a house, there is an owner's title of insurance that the seller generally pays for the benefit of the purchaser. Home title or owner's title insurance is an insurance product that if somebody or some interest impairs or affects the quality of title, you will have insurance up to the policy value. Generally, that policy value is equal to the value of the house. So for example, if you bought a house for $100,000, you have $100,000 of title insurance. This is a very effective product. It's been used for many, many, many years, and it is the industry standard when people purchase properties. In fact, I think most home sales occur with title insurance. It would be a rare occasion that you wouldn't get title insurance. Home Title Lock is not title insurance. Home Title Lock is a monitoring service. In essence, they're monitoring the public records that exist and identifying when somebody or something impairs the title. They do this by a lot of scare tactics. So for example, on their website at the moment, when I looked this morning, it indicates an alert that somebody in a nearby town had a fraudulent title issue to give some feeling of urgency, similar to when your Ring doorbell or alert within your neighborhood tells you that there was a break-in recently, to give you some concern or fear that your house could be next. The second thing that they do is they mention a lot of government agencies and entities within their marketing. They talk about the FBI. They use statistics to identify that home title theft is really common. Now, as an attorney that's been practicing for over 25 years in this particular space, we handle lots of title-related disputes, forged deeds, impairments on title, things that would be triggered by this type of behavior. But although my practice specializes in this space, and we do lots of it, it's actually a very uncommon event. It may happen, and it may be a growing event because of people's boldness in this type of identity theft. But it actually is not particularly common. And although when it does occur, often those files make their way into my office to litigate, it's actually a pretty uncommon event. So these scare tactics are, in my opinion, exaggerated. And the idea that you need to bring in an agency to do theft monitoring of public record. These are records that you could go down and simply view on your own. And what they're doing is they're monitoring the register of deeds. So for example, you own a property or a house in a particular county. Within that county, there is an entity called the Register of Deeds. Some counties call it different things, but that's the general term. And deeds are recorded at that depository, that government entity, the Register of Deeds, and they're put in a recording system. Generally, in the old days, it was a book, these very large books. Now they're done digitally. And what this agency, this Home Title Lock, is doing is monitoring the recording of events. So if they identify that something got recorded relating to your parcel, you're going to get a notice. Well, you could do that on your own. You could periodically simply go and check these public records, many of which are now online. So accessing it is quite simple. So Home Title Lock is offering for $14.99 a month, and sometimes I've seen it discounted to about $9.99 a month. So you're spending, let's say, between $120 and $80 a year for an entity to monitor something that is available publicly. Doesn't seem like a great investment. This is very different than like an alarm company that is monitoring your house, so when a burglar comes in, they alert the police. They have all sorts of identifications on their website that talks about that homeowners insurance, banks, theft programs, and title insurance don't protect you. Well, it's not actually correct. They're not monitoring the day-to-day events of recordings on your title. However, there is protection with title insurance. So if somebody does forge your deed and records a deed on your property and takes out a mortgage or tries to sell it, the title insurance will insure everything backwards. They won't do anything from the date of the title insurance forward. So it's a little bit of a play here in that if somebody does record a deed and takes out a mortgage, they're right that title insurance won't cover the future acts that occurred on your property. The problem with this is that in most states, and including Michigan where I'm speaking, the event of a recording of a fraudulent deed does not give good title to any subsequent owner. So the person that is defrauding the property, who takes the title, or if they don't put it in their name, they put it in somebody else's name, as well as the procurement of a mortgage that impairs that particular property, all of that can get set aside through a quiet title action. And in fact, there is no good ownership that is then given to the person that receives title by virtue of a fraudulent deed. That's why this type of monitoring is really kind of overkill. Because if somebody does, in the unlikely event, record a deed and take out a mortgage, and as they scare you, strip your equity from your property, you can unwind the transaction through a quiet title action, which is not a particularly expensive event, and the likelihood that you're going to need this type of service is actually quite low. Now, I'm grabbing more information that is, promised or giving you scare tactics on their website. They talk about the instant that somebody records something, you get notice. Okay, is that all that important? Not so sure that I'd want to spend that kind of money to just simply instantly know. Now here's the kicker. What are you getting? What are you learning or getting in the event of this monitoring service? In quotes, they identify on their site that in the unlikely event, they actually acknowledge it's an unlikely event, your title or mortgage is compromised, you'll have the full support assistance 24/7, 365 days of a US-based resolution division. Boy, that sounds pretty vague. There's no detail here. It's led by a former title insurance executive. Sounds very important. Not a lawyer. You're not getting insurance. It doesn't promise that they're going to fix or unwind the transaction. It talks about there'll be a team of experts who will stay with you every step of the way until your case is resolved. What does that mean? They're going to stay with you. It sounds like they're going to refer you to a lawyer like me, who's going to then file a quiet title action to unwind the transaction, or report it to authorities, or notice the Register of Deeds, because some of them have fraud divisions. It doesn't look like they're doing anything other than simply notifying you of the event. So this home title lock system seems to simply be an alert. They've developed a database where when somebody records something, you simply get an alert. Something got recorded on your title at the Register of Deeds in a public record. And then it's up to you to unwind or resolve the issue. Well, again, as somebody that has been doing this for a long time and litigates these issues, that doesn't seem like a particularly good value to be investing for the service that you're getting. They talk about 6.1 billion records on file. These are all public records. 50 million plus new recordings per year. That's a fact. There are a lot of recordings of real estate transactions nationally. 65% of title claims are fraud related. Yes, and in fact, most title disputes are not just random, obscure people recording deeds on your property. It generally is a family member or somebody, an inside person that's recording defective title related issues on these fraud cases, not just some random, dark web person who is going and recording something on your title. Although that does occur, it's not typical. And then it concludes, you need a home title lock to protect your property. So I'm Darren Findling of QuietTitle.com, and I don't think you need home title lock. I don't think it's a good investment. I think that there are many other things that you should be investing your money in to ensure the quality of your well-being. If you've got questions about this product, quiet title related issues, I'm happy to help. You can contact us through our website, www.QuietTitle.com, or visit us and call us at 877-YOUR-FIRM. That's 877-YOUR-FIRM.